You know, for the longest time growing up years, you know, you hear about God and you hear about Jesus and you hear about different people's opinions on what's true and what's not true. You know, I got to a point in my own life where didn't really start to know what to believe. Basically living a life godless. Because when I was 15 years old, my team manager, coach, who picked me up and sponsored me, Steve Caballero, one day he came up to me and said, he's all, man, Cab, you have this kind of like this Zen way of you. The way you approach life. I started reading up on Zen and Taoism, and I kind of understood what he meant. You know, it's kind of just going with the flow of things and accepting life the way it is, and actually living kind of like a Taoist. That philosophy is all self-realization, self-worth, self-motivation, self-help, and that's why I was attracted to it, because I was always searching for something to better my life. There isn't any kind of godly creator, or it all deals with the now. You don't worry about the past, you don't worry about the future, it's all about what's going on now, and that really actually got me to become an atheist. I remember having some arguments and discussions with Lance Mountain, because he's been a godly man ever since I've known him, and telling him, I don't believe in God. I was like, oh, you know, God is for people who are weak and people who are in need of something to believe in. That self-pride really did keep me away from understanding that I needed Jesus in my life. When things are going great, God's way over here. You know, it's like, I don't need God. I'm doing this all myself. I'm a self, you know, running machine here. The one thing about Zen and Taoism is I would always read these things like, you know, so-and-so was enlightened, one day you will be enlightened. And I always thought, after reading these books for like 7 years, I'm like, man, I have not been enlightened yet. Like, where does this enlightenment come from? And it took me to get broken down, like big time, for me to open my heart, because my heart was so hard that he softened it up, and just enough to seep in. And it wasn't until Jesus came into my life, and that was my enlightenment. You know, that's when I was like, whoa, okay, now I understand what they're talking about. It's like, I have been enlightened with the truth, you know, and what I was waiting for, it came, but it didn't come through Zen or Taoism, it came through Christ. I think the rebelliousness of skateboarding, punk rock, goes hand in hand with Christianity. You know, being a Christian in modern day life today is probably the most punk rock thing that you can do, because it's not popular, it's not mainstream, and it's not something that people find comfortable, you know, because it is uncomfortable. Who's the biggest rebel that ever walked this earth? That was Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, he went against everybody.